the top on page 37. I have 3 examples for you. The first example, 2 times negative 3/4.
We don't know how to do it.
2 is a whole number, so I can always put it over what?
1.
1.
So it'd be 6/4.
Okay, so when I multiply fractions, I always simplify first and then multiply. You can multiply and simplify at the end, but especially when you get into bigger numbers, it becomes harder to multiply and easier to reduce first. So, is there anywhere where I could reduce either up and down or diagonal?
Diagonal.
Where, Aaron?
42.
Okay, I'm going to divide each of them by what? So what do I get for 2? And 4? Good. Okay, so is there anywhere else I can reduce? No, so I can multiply straight across. 1 times negative 3 is?
Negative 3.
Over 1 times 2?
2.
Okay, that's an improper fraction. So how many wholes can you make out of that?
1.
So negative 1 and left over.
Wait, so how would you do it if you didn't simplify right away?
You'd have to simplify right here.
So it'd be 6/4.
So then you'd reduce it to negative 3/2. Number 2. Negative 2/5 times negative 15/18. Negative 2/5 times negative 15/18. Is there somewhere where I could reduce either up and down or diagonal?
Diagonal.
Both. Angela, where do you want to start?
2 and 8.
Okay, so what am I going to divide each of these by?
2.
2. So negative 2 divided by 2 is?
Negative
18 divided by 2 is?
9.
Okay, where else could I reduce?
5.
Jacob?
5 and 15.
Okay, what do you want to divide by?
5.
5 divided by 5 is? Negative 15 divided by 5 is?
Negative 3.
Good.
What if you divide?
Okay, if you have a question, raise your hand. Okay, is there somewhere else I can reduce?
Yes.
Caden, where else can I reduce? Okay, what would the negative 3 become?
1. Sorry.
Negative 1, and the 9 would become a
3.
3. Okay, it's important that you cross them off. Some students don't like to cross off the numbers, but then especially where you have to do this much reducing, you get a lot of numbers written there. So make sure you cross them off if you're not using them anymore. So now I would multiply straight across. Negative 1 times negative 1 is? 1 times 3 is?
3.
Dylan, did you have a question? Questions? So multiplying, do you have to have common denominators? No. You just either reduce at the beginning and then multiply straight across, or you multiply straight across and then reduce at the end. Done.
Could you just like simplify the 15 and 18 right away?
Yes.
But then what would you do?
You just have to simplify it all again. It'd just be a different way to simplify to start with. Okay? The last one, and some of you might start to simplify and then realize at the end you probably could have simplified more, but then simplify at the end. It doesn't matter. So number 3, 1/2 times 4 2/5.
Wait, so could you just multiply it straight across and then simplify it?
Yes,
Yes.
but not in this one.
Dang it.
Okay, so in this one, if we have a mixed number, we have to change it.
Do an improper.
Improper. How do I do that again?
4 times 5 plus 2.
And what do you get?
22/5.
So then I have 1/2 times 22/5. Can I reduce anywhere? Jacob?
The 2 and the 22.
Okay, so the 2 becomes a, the 22 becomes a,
11.
anywhere else?
No.
Nope. So then 1 times 11 is?
11.
1 times 5 is?
5.
How many holes can you make out of that?
2.
And what would you have left over?
1/5.
Question? That's what today's lesson is. Okay. There's 2 questions on your homework that I'll go over with you. On your homework, I'm going over 11 and 12. So number 11, someone want to read it for me? Callie? Okay, so I have 2/3 of the students in the class watch the show. No, 2/3 of the class watch television. Of the 2/3 that watch television, 3/8 watch this reality show. And of those people that watch the reality show, 1/4 of them record the show. And we need to figure out what number of the class watches and records the show. So first of all, what's a key word that I kept saying? What does of mean? Multiplying. So let's start by finding if we have 2/3 of the class, of means 2, that watch, and 3/8 of them watch reality, and of that, 1/4 of them record it. You don't have to, but I like it. You could just put parentheses. But you can't write them next to each other because then it wouldn't look right. You have to put parentheses around each fraction. Okay, so is there somewhere inside the parentheses where I can reduce?
Yes.
Where?
3 and 3.
Okay, so my 3's become what?
1s.
Anywhere else?
2 and 8.
2 becomes?
1.
8 becomes? So if I'm just saying inside the parentheses, 1 times 1 is? 1 times 4 is?
4.
And I still have that times 1/4. Now,
Can't you simplify?
you can't simplify across, just up and down or diagonal. So I can't simplify anywhere. So Angelo says to multiply straight across. So 1 times 1 is?
1.
4 times 4 is?
16.
So my answer is
1/16.
of the class.
So there's 16 kids.
What?
So there's 16 kids earlier.
That doesn't mean that. Because there's not 16 kids in this class, but there is a 16th of the class. Okay? The other one I wanted to do is number 12. So they gave you words, and you have to write the fractions. Damien,
Easy.
read number 12 for me.
1/2 -5.
1/2 of. How do you write 1/2?
1 over 2.
1 over 2.
Of means 2.
Multiply.
How do you write -5/8?
Negative 5 or 8.
Can I reduce anywhere?
No.
Okay, so I multiply straight across. What do I get?
Negative 5
Over 16.
And that's your answer. Just make sure you know how to do it. Questions?
That one's done.
Okay. Make sure on number number 10 and 9, you change the mixed numbers into improper fractions. And then make sure on number 3, what do you write -9 over? 1, because it's the whole number. Okay? You have the rest of the time to work on your homework. If you still